Hey, bourbon drinkers, Valentine's Day is coming up soon.
And we have a cocktail so good, she's going to be calling you Lance Romance.
Welcome to Bourbon School. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Brian.
And today we're going to make a beautiful cocktail that you can have on Valentine's Day or any day of the week.
Right, but before we get there, please make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, and make sure you comment below about cocktails you enjoy on Valentine's Day.
So, Brian, do you have any Valentine's Day traditions with your wife?
Well, it's one of my wife's favorite holidays, so we are kind of locked in to having to do something on Valentine's Day.
Do you feel an obligation to do, like, have a dinner, make a reservation, get a gift, all that stuff?
All of those things, yes.
All right.
So,
Brian, my husband has trained me to have low expectations. From the time I met him. If I got a cocktail like this, be A-okay on Valentine's Day.
Well, at least you won't be disappointed with those low expectations. So yeah, we'll go to dinner. We will have a few cocktails, although I will say before we made this, I've never had this one. But this is a really nice cocktail for Valentine's Day, but you could, I can imagine in summer when the strawberries are nice and ripe.
Yes.
It'd be a great cocktail to have.
And all these ingredients are easy to find. There's nothing crazy going on here.
Right.
You can use any bourbon that you have at home, although we're going to recommend one.
Right.
And it's really great for your partner who might, hopefully we're getting them to like bourbon, but this is a nice cocktail that will add some ingredients to it, make it a little bit fruity and fun.
Right.
For Valentine's Day.
And I think that's a great point, that if your partner did not like the straight bourbons that you tried from our previous videos, this is a really good way to introduce it because it's got that sweetness, it's got the fruit. Like, who doesn't like strawberries? So this is a really good way. If the straight bourbon doesn't work, start putting it in cocktails. And this one is an ideal one because it's sweet, it's fruity, it's refreshing. And I think it really will get them to enjoy bourbon, because with the bourbon we're picking, they're still going to taste it.
Right. All right, let's start our recipe.
All right.
We're going to begin with 2 strawberries, just cut up, pitted, cut up, and we're going to muddle them so it doesn't matter how small you cut them.
And we're going to eyeball it. I'm going to eyeball what 2 strawberries looks like because they're already cut up, but that looks to me like 2 strawberries. Exactly 2 strawberries. Okay. After the strawberries, you're going to add a ½ ounce of lemon juice. Now, our lemon juice is freshly squeezed, but you are free to buy pre-squeezed lemon juice if you'd like. But a ½ ounce is what you're going for. This gives you a little acid. It's going to break down the strawberries a little bit as we're muddling, and it's going to give it a little tartness in the final product.
Okay, our final maple syrup. This is pure maple syrup.
It is pure maple syrup.
So it's going to be pretty sweet.
Right.
But not too sweet.
Correct. And we want a ½ ounce of the maple syrup. And all of these 3 ingredients, thank you.
You're welcome.
All of these 3 ingredients are going to get muddled together. And we're going to make a little soup out of it. Now, the reason we're muddling is because what that does is it breaks down the strawberries, it really infuses the juices, gets the juices out of the strawberries and into your drink, rather than just the strawberries sitting there. It's similar to what they do to mint in a mint julep. Okay?
You know it's a Valentine's theme when we have these. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
let's muddle. Okay, so we finished muddling our ingredients, and before we go any further, we're going to do a quick word about muddlers, because Lauren found something about her muddler that I didn't experience.
If you're going to buy one, try to go with one that has a grip on the bottom, it looks like.
Yeah, mine has the speed bumps on the bottom.
Mine's smooth.
Right, and mine gripped pretty good, and it really was able to squish things well, and you found yours was kind of slipping around, right?
Yeah, if you're going to buy one, I would get that one.
You never want a slippery muddler.
Except on Valentine's Day.
That's right. So for the bourbon we chose for this cocktail, we went with a lady's choice. And Lauren, what did you pick out?
Well, it is Valentine's Day, so here we are. You know I love Old Granddad.
You do.
It's my sentimental favorite, but actually this one is really, really good for this cocktail.
I think it's an excellent choice.
So it's Old Granddad bonded. It's 100 proof. And it's really great because it balances out our sweetness that we have between our strawberries and our maple syrup.
Right.
So I think this is a perfect pick. It's not too sweet.
It's a great choice. And originally, this is a recipe that comes from Maker's Mark. So obviously, they would use their bourbon in it. But we wanted to go with something that had a little more kick to it, so you really would taste the bourbon through the sweetness. I will say, if you are getting strawberries out of season and they're not quite as sweet, you could either add a little more maple syrup or choose a sweeter bourbon like Maker's Mark or maybe like a 1792, which would be a better choice for this. But for us, we've got some nice sweet strawberries, some pure maple syrup. So we're going to go with something that's we're still going to taste, and it's not going to add too much sweetness to it. It's going to give it a little bite. So we're going with the old granddad. So,
and we're going to add, and actually, we're going to alter the recipe. We're going to add a little bit more bourbon.
Right.
Just because we want to taste the bourbon a bit more. When we tested this, we need a little bit more bourbon flavor.
Right.
So we're going to add 2 ounces of bourbon instead of 1.5.
Right.
And you can always make that a heavy pour, depending on who you're making your cocktail for. So
2 ounces of bourbon. Originally, if you see this recipe online, it's going to call for 1.5 ounces or a little more than 1.5 ounces. But we're going to go 2. So 2 ounces of bourbon. And once you add that, then you want to stir everything up together so it gets all nice and blended. So take your little bar spoon, stir up your strawberries, your lemon juice, your maple syrup, and your bourbon all together. And
then
once
we're going to add some ice.
Right. And then it's time to add ice. So you're going to notice that your drink is probably not quite topped off. And the last ingredient that we're going to add is
a little bit of club soda.
Right.
Just a bit.
And I do like the club soda. It gives it a little zip, a little bit of bubble, and it makes it a little more exciting to drink.
And it adds a little sweetness.
Right. And then last thing.
Sweet.
That's right. Last thing we're going to do is a little strawberry for a garnish. All right, so this is your finished product. It's a beautiful reddish pink, perfect for Valentine's Day. Looks delicious. Why don't we give it a try? Cheers.
Cheers. Wow.
Oh.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's not
really
overly
nice.
Sweet.
Right.
It's very refreshing. It has that beautiful strawberry flavor. If you could find good strawberries, perfect for this. The acidity is balanced out. I don't taste even maple syrup, actually, which I thought I might not like, but it just really kind of gives it that simple syrup sweetness.
Yeah, I agree. The key is muddling everything together, having that fresh strawberry flavor in it. And I think the bourbon really still comes out. I mean, I really do think choosing a higher proof bourbon is key here.
And so maybe adding a little extra.
Yeah, right. A heavy pour of your 2 ounces of bourbon. So you really get that through the sweetness. I think this is a great cocktail. And like we said earlier, this is good year round. But with that beautiful red color, it's a perfect Valentine's cocktail.
Brian, I think anybody who makes this cocktail for their significant other on Valentine's Day is going to have a very nice evening.
All right. So, if you like what you saw, please like, subscribe, share this video out there, and make sure you comment about what you like to serve on Valentine's Day. It could be a bourbon cocktail. It could be something else. But let us know what you like.
And stay tuned for future videos. Right. And you can even use your leftover strawberries for a chocolate dip. Chocolate dip.